welcome to our brand new YouTube channel and Instagram page called O-Face Off-Road, where we're going to be doing a couple of builds for you guys. These are going to be more informational, teaching you how to build certain things. We got a Chevy 1500 pickup, long travel, two-wheel drive that we're going to be doing. But first off, we're going to start off with this guy over here. This is a 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee WK. It has the 4.7 liter V8. It's pretty stock for the most part. We've done just exhaust and a small spacer lift on it. But the problem with the spacer lifts, in order to get some travel out of them, you end up binding up and things start hitting. Instead of the shock stopping the travel from falling all the way out, now your spindle is actually making contact with the coil. So yeah, spacers definitely wouldn't go with the 3-inch spacer in the front. And these are independent front suspension, so it's A-arms. It's not straight axle. That's the reason why you're not going to find very many build videos on these. You're not going to find very many forums on them. I looked everywhere on the internet. I wasn't able to find much, just because I want to see what was out there. So yeah, as you guessed it, all of this is coming out. We're taking all of this out, and we're going to be converting it over to Dana 60 1-ton straight axle, and then we're doing a Sterling 10.5 in the rear. So as it being a Grand Cherokee, they have the unibody in them. They don't have like you would have in a Wrangler or something else. So you have to reinforce the unibody on these things. Otherwise you can twist the body up. You can make it to where the doors don't close right. I mean, just all kinds of problems. You can actually rip up the unibody, because we are going to be doing a hydro steer on this thing. It's going to be 4-link front and rear with full hydro, not hydro assist, nothing like that, no mechanical link. So you definitely have to reinforce the unibody if you want to build them right, if you want to build them the right way. We are going to be throwing 40-inch mutters on this thing. I've already got the bead locks here, brand new set of race line bead locks for it, 17-inch. So that's some serious weight that we're going to be throwing on this thing with the hydro steer and everything. It's going to be flexing quite a bit. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the front end yet, but it is going to have to obviously get modified so that we can tuck that tire and not be chewing up much of the body panels. Same thing in the rear. Not quite sure what we're going to do yet. We're going to get everything built and mocked up, and then we're going to flex out the suspension and see what we need to do. So it's going to be a learning experience for us as well. My brother has already built a 1998, I believe, Grand Cherokee with the 5.9 V8 in it. He's running 37s on that one. He did do the half-ton axles on it. So with mine, I do want to go with the full 1-ton. I want to have the full width, and I want to have the strength of those 35 spline axles. And then we're going to be running 538 gears on it. Another thing that we're going to have to do, the reason why the WKs aren't built is because you have all these extra challenges. We've got the Quadra-Track transfer case and transmission setup on these things. Quadra-Track is garbage. It's all-wheel drive. You can't put it in two-wheel drive. It's electronic. You have nothing but problems with those things. So we're actually going to be converting that over. So instead of having to run that 12-bolt transfer case that nothing else bolts to, we're pulling the adapter out of another vehicle. It will bolt up to the 545, and then we're going to be able to get rid of that all-wheel drive, and we're going to run, most likely we're going to be going with the 231, which is this guy right here. This is actually a 21 spline. So if we end up running this one, we'll show you how to take it apart, and we'll show you how to put the correct 23 spline in there, because that's what 3 spline input shaft. So we'll show you how all that works. What else? We have to remove the fuel tank from underneath the Jeep. It's right underneath the driver's side, I believe. Yeah, it's right underneath the driver's side right here. Up underneath, it's going to be right in the way of our links. So we do have to pull that out. We have 2 spots that we're trying to decide where we want to put it. You can either put it up underneath in the back because on these guys here, it's all open once you take your spare tire out of there. We are going to have to take out some supports for the rear end that's in there right now. Once we get all that cleared out, there's a whole bunch of room underneath there. That's most likely where it's going to go. We just have to see, once we get that rear end bolted on and mocked up, we have to see how much room we have once we're getting it to articulate and everything. We have to make sure we have enough clearance. Most likely we should be able to just bump it. It just depends on where this thing sits. Now the other option is we can put it in the hatch, but then you want to make sure everything's sealed up so you don't end up with any gas fumes inside the vehicle or anything like that. And a third option, you'd have to reinforce it, but somehow cutting out the floor in the back, and then that way you can kind of maybe set the fuel cell in between being inside the cab and underneath. You just have to seal it up very well, and you have to reinforce it to make sure that it doesn't take away any strength from the unibody. Now another thing that we're going to be doing as well is we're going to be building a full roll cage inside this thing, and it's going to be welded to the unibody all the way around. So we're going to show you how to tie in a roll cage to a unibody all the way around. And we do know this works for a fact because my brother ended up rolling his Jeep finally after I think 12 years of it being built. He finally ended up rolling it, and the only thing you ended up with was a little bit of damage on the outside panels. The cage was perfectly solid, didn't have any issues, no cracking, nothing separated, nothing bent. So super strong. We'll show you how to do all that. We're going to be doing bucket seats in it and all that fun good stuff. We're going to end up doing some shock towers. I'm not sure how it's going to change, but what I would like to do is pop the shock towers up out of the hood and cut the hood out. I just think they look a lot nicer that way. Let's see, anything else? We'll go over some of this. Now this is the rear end I was lucky enough to get from Richard Guiboa with Guiboa Motorsports here in Lake Havasu City. He runs some crawlers. This one came on the crawler that he just bought, but he's going a different route, so I ended up picking up the Sterling 10.5 off of him that's fully trussed. I just have to move some of the link mounts around and whatnot. But you can see it does have the disc brakes on it. You do want to go with 2005 and up when you're looking at your Dana 60. The main giveaway for that is going to be the coil spring mounts instead of leaf springs. So yeah, anything 05 and up is going to have coil springs instead of leaf springs on the front end, but that's also going to give you those 35 spline axles. It's just altogether a better differential and everything compared to the older models. So we're going to be stripping all that off. Everything is going to come off of this, and it's going to be just like single tube like that all the way through, and then we're going to be trussing it, mounting our leak tabs on there. We are, for now, we're just going to go with a spool in the front. We will be doing a locker later on, but for right now we're just going to be doing a spool with 538 gears because you do have the manual locking hubs on these. So when you're in two-wheel drive, you're not using your four-wheel drive, you can just unlock those hubs and it'll free spin, so you don't have to worry about that. We're going to try out, I don't know how well it's going to work yet. It worked in the video that I saw. This is an e-locker from a 2012, I believe. I think it's 2011 and up, or it's 2012 and up. F350 with a locking rear differential. You can order these for fairly cheap. I think I got this one for about $700. That one is going to be going in the rear end of that Sterling 10.5. However, because we're running 538 gears, I've gotten some mixed info on this. Some people say you can do it, some people say you can't. So we're going to see if that's going to work, and if that does not work, then we will be ordering a different locker to throw in there. But yeah, we are going to be running the 538 gears on that. I'm hoping this works because it's kind of a cool little trick, and I would love to be able to just push a button from inside the cab and get that locker to engage and disengage. What else do we got for you? Over here, I've got 4 brand new 16-inch Fox coilovers. I got these from my guy John over at Poly Performance. They do have the DSC adjusters, and you can see they have the high speed and the low speed adjustments on it. That'll help you out with not having to revalve the suspension once you figure out what you're going to need exactly. And then over here, I've got 4 brand new ADS bump stops with the cans and everything. Also got those from Poly Performance. These are just some seats I had laying around. Not sure if I'm going to run those or not. They're kind of old and whatnot. We'll see how that goes. I think that's about it thus far. We still have quite a bit, but I wanted to go over the entire build with you guys. This video is to draw attention, so if you guys can like and subscribe, or if this is Instagram, like and follow. You can share the videos with your friends. Anybody that you know that has a WK, and WKs are 2005 to 2010, I believe, somewhere around there. Like I said, there's no info out there for anybody to be able to do this. So I'm just trying to do what I can to help everyone out. But, you know, if there's any questions you have, feel free to reach out, send me a message, comment if it's on YouTube, and I will be monitoring the page, both pages, and I'll get back to you guys with any questions you have. If there's anything you'd like to see while we're in here, because we are going to be clearing some stuff around the shock towers, so you can see how we're going to do that. We're going to have to relocate the wiring and a lot of different things in there. So there's a lot that we're going to be going through. So I apologize if we miss anything. You know, we're not professionals in a shop. We're, you know, a couple redneck good old boys in a garage. So, you know, please, you know, try not to be too harsh on us. We always, you know, appreciate input. So if you guys have something that we might have missed, you know, feel free to let us know. And yeah, so hopefully this works out. I want to help as many people as I can. I've done quite a few videos on like my F350 Super Duty that I had, helping people out, and there were some people that messaged me and said that they couldn't have done it without my video because they were looking and looking and looking and could not find any answers. And obviously shops aren't going to tell you how to do it. So you know, I try to do what I can to help people out, and that's exactly what this whole YouTube channel and Instagram page is all about, just helping everybody out. I've been where you guys are at. If you guys don't know what you're doing, and this may be a first-time project for you, you know, with a little bit of guidance, it's kind of like following a recipe. You know, anybody can cook if they got a recipe book. So, you know, it's the same thing with building. You know, if you got someone telling you exactly step by step how to do it, it might be easier for you to do it yourself. So, you know, like I said, like and subscribe, or like and follow, and share the heck out of it. You know, anybody that you know that has a Grand Cherokee, maybe some of the things that we cover in these videos would help them out, even if it's not the same exact model, but they have a Grand Cherokee, or, you know, maybe they just want the ideas on how we're going to be building this thing. So yeah, you know, share it around. You know, let's try to get as much exposure as we can on these videos and on this build. And like I said, you know, if it goes somewhere and you guys really appreciate what we're doing here, you know, my brother's got that Silverado that we're going to build. We got a couple different projects. Just to show you one that I just finished up. This is, let me zoom out here a bit. So this is my 2014 Harley Softail. It was a Heritage, and this bike, it was gently laid down by a snowbird out here in Havasu, but I think it kind of scared him, and so he didn't want to ride anymore. Insurance would not total it out because all the damage was just superficial, and so he collected his insurance money and didn't want the bike anymore. So I picked the bike up from him, you know, for a decent price, brought it home, stripped it down, and just totally went to town building it. And it's already won 2 shows here in Lake Havasu City. And it's going to be in Easy Rider magazine hopefully soon, if he can get together with his publisher, Dave Nichols over there, and, you know, hopefully we can get that in the magazine, because I'm super excited to see something that I built and put a lot of work into, make it into a magazine that's that outstanding. I'm so excited. It would be a lifelong dream of mine, you know, to be in that magazine. I built quite a few bikes, and this one's by far my favorite. I had a CNC table, and I actually made all of the badging and everything for it. It's called the Psychopath. I made those running boards, the brake pedal, if you can see that there. Just did a whole lot of work to it. You can see I had to fabricate that seat mount. And then we've got the iron cross plate underneath to hold the computer in place because it doesn't have the fender anymore. So yeah, a lot of love, blood, sweat, and tears went into making this bike, and it is just a nasty beast. It's so much fun to ride. It gets nothing but attention everywhere I take it. And hopefully this Jeep is going to be the same thing. I can't wait to see this thing sitting up on 40-inch tires, or better yet, walking up a waterfall. So anywho, appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, and you know, follow the Instagram page and all that stuff, and share the heck out of it. Let's try to get some exposure on this, and you know, try to help some people out. All right guys, that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon.